Hello, PDHP parents and community. It's Carrie Ann, and of course, it's mindfulness. Today is for you, and we are talking to our teachers. Thank you so much for all you do. In the past week, I've been considering more and more what it's been like, now as opposed to a year behind us. Year to date, wow. Can you remember that rawness of going into lockdown, considering it would only be 2 weeks, seeing the scarcity, seeing the difficulty, seeing the isolation, the inequities, the devastation, the grief, the loss of just even routine. I can't believe where we are today. I hope you're feeling hopeful. And I do think of you. I think of those you have loved and lost during this time, and I keep you in my mind, even if we've never met. So I have for you my pack of books. These books, I laugh with friends. We have maybe a whole bunch of books on our side table or our bedstand, and it never really seems to diminish. It seems to be added to, perhaps. Some of these I have read. Some of these are waiting in the wings. Some of them I go back and forth to. As you can see, some of them are still wrapped from their Amazon delivery. But I bring this to you because, remember, we're talking about mindful practice. Mindfulness, as we see, is being in the present, allowing us that space and time to not put judgment, to put any kind of tie, to ruminate, to look ahead, to step back, to just be really present. And some of these practices that we've talked about are really sensory, and they bring us into the presence. And they're ones that we can use with our classroom. But of course, as you saw in that last video, not only do we talk about our classroom and we talk about the children in our lives, but we talk about us, because they are always watching, they are always experiencing a trickle-down effect from us. So on the tide of the last video, where we moved into what are we doing personally, what are we doing professionally to give us that mindfulness practice, reading. I know a bunch of you are probably readers, but I know probably like me, you're always in the core of developing and grading and creating and lesson planning and all of that good stuff, that the reading all of a sudden becomes thrown off a bit. And we wait for these big moments of, oh, it's vacation. I can buy a summer read. I can buy a book for vacation, or, maybe I'll grab a few minutes. Sometimes even our time to read gets disrupted in the day-to-days of our school schedule. Maybe we thought we'll bring a book and read during our lunchtime, but it's that coworker who's talking to us. And it just kind of disrupts the calm, Sometimes it is necessary for us to put up those boundaries, Maybe step to the side and say, you know what, today I just need the time for myself, but, I can call you later on if you want to talk about that, or after school we can chat. It's okay. And you don't have to be available to everyone at every moment. Because remember that saying, fill your cup first. You're better able to be equipped to help someone else. Besides that idea of reading, there's also socializing. And now, of course, we're trying to keep it a social distance. But consider the impact of maybe taking a walk for a few minutes after school with a coworker, masked up and distant, but taking a little walk. Or maybe FaceTiming a best friend. Playing a game after dinner with your kids. What are other healthful activities that you engage in that are mindful and we probably don't even realize it? Of course, that reading. How about time in nature? Do you have the ability to sit outside, to take a walk outside, to notice the things around you, the trees, the buds, the flowers sprouting? The other day I took a walk around the corner and I noticed my neighbor's lawn is littered with crocus. And I said, oh my goodness, this is, that sign of spring is coming. How hopeful. We take a lot back from nature. You see, we were programmed to be part of nature, and those old habits in our evolution die hard. So getting out into nature is so very important. Whatever that place is, the beach, the city streets, walking around and seeing the hustle and bustle, maybe that is your mindfulness, and that's okay too. Going by the water, mountains, whatever it is, even just taking a little ride and taking in all that nature, even sitting by your window with a cup of tea or whatever beverage you like, coffee, lemon water, something really healthful, sitting there and just kind of putting that grounding sensory practice into effect. Looking at the window, noticing maybe the pattern of the bricks on the building next to you, noticing the way the sun is shining or not today, noticing. It really brings us back into a mindful state of presence, state of awareness. So what is your mindfulness now? Has it changed in the past year? Have you just developed it? Is there something you want to try? What can your mindfulness be? Is your mindfulness different for yourself personally and professionally? And professionally when you're stepping in your classroom or you're stepping in the faculty room? How can you engage if you really enjoy this idea of mindfulness, if you really buy into what it can do for yourself and your school culture and even just your classroom culture? Is there a way that you can garner the support of your colleagues, your administrator, your supervisor, what have you? Is it something that you can make a goal? Maybe first for yourself. Maybe then for your profession, for your classroom, for your faculty. Can you make it a school-wide goal? Are there items that you would like to post to remind you to take that pause? Like I said to you, maybe it's that beautiful saying that you post across your door before you put the key in the lock to walk into your classroom. And when you see that quote, it reminds you of what you need to do and how you want to be in that moment that you're engaging with these young people in front of you. And for yourself, even going home, before you walk in that door, what's that thing that reminds you? Do you remember emotional literacy that we did years ago? We had the color charts, the energy level, the feeling. A lot of times we reported it, but we never talked how to sustain the positive or how to maybe work through the negative. Consider those things. Evaluate, reevaluate. Share it. Again, it is teaching. It's teaching yourself to be in a different way. It's teaching others around you. As I said, it has a tremendous trickle down. I hope that maybe this Friday, as you're leaving work, starting on your weekend, you're able to take even just those 30 seconds to give yourself a mindful experience. Have a great weekend. Thank you for all you do. Stay well.